my friends. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hello and welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content. And if you are back, welcome back. Today I'm here to join you for my weekly WIP and Chat. And if you're new, WIP stands for Work in Progress, and Chat stands for Chat. That just means that we're going to hang out and chat a little bit today and catch up on a few things. You're welcome to whip out your WIP and work alongside me, whatever that looks like, whether it's a diamond painting like I'm going to be working on today, some other sort of crafting, or things around the house. Apparently my neighbor's dog's WIP is going to be barking. This just seems to happen whenever I hop on to film. They have a relatively new puppy and it's outside a lot. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to be working on a diamond painting this evening. And the name of this diamond painting is Outside the Sweet Shop. And I remembered to go and grab the sticker sheet that had the original artwork on it so you could see it if you were curious. But this is the artwork itself, obviously watermarked by the shop that licensed it, which is Diamond Art Studio UK. The artist is Helcorio. And this is a really fun and unique piece because it has 197 colors. We're going to be down like this area today, so not super exciting, but still lots of confetti. And actually, when I post progress pictures, the reflection down here is by far what people comment on the most as standing out to them and being really impressive. So I don't know, maybe you guys will like working on that. But I'm actually officially halfway done with this kit. The right half here is completed. And how many times can I say actually? I posted a progress check-in video just a couple of days ago where I showed you how it's looking halfway done and shared with you some of my learnings and tips and tricks and that sort of thing, because this is kind of a unique challenge, but it's also a really fun one, I think. The shop did say that they'll be restocking this kit, but it's going to be probably the beginning of August is when they're going to come in. And I also saw them post, actually, I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Let me tell you what else I'll be using and I can start diamond painting. We'll talk more about this kit because otherwise we're just going to sit here staring at nothing. So this pen, this is from Black Wolf Woodworks. I unboxed it in my small shop haul a couple weeks ago and actually haven't used it yet. I think this is the one in the Zodiac series that was based on Scorpio, which is my sign, so I had to grab it. I'll be using a thin metal multi-placer. This one is from AliExpress. I have to be honest, you guys, though, as soon as, if and when, Diamond Art Club puts out their thin metal multi-placers that are larger than 6 placers, the largest they have at the moment. Oh, actually, you know what, you guys? Okay, 1 second. Okay, sorry. What happened was that I accidentally grabbed a tip that was filled with it's a forever sticky tip from Jada Gem Shop. Not this one. I swapped it. But it wasn't the one I was going to demo today. I do want to demo that with you guys really soon, but I was planning on using this Enablers Outpost putty, and so I'm going to stick to that. Maybe next week I'll use the Jada Gem Shop forever sticky tip. But I realized I accidentally grabbed that one. I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to clean that out because that's the material she put in there. Anyway, sorry about that. I was starting to say that if and when Diamond Art Club comes out with larger new metal multi-placers than the 6 placer, which is currently the largest that they offer, I'm gonna ditch these AliExpress ones like nobody's business because those Diamond Art Club multi-placers are a dream. They're even thinner than these. I think I showed you guys last week. But since they only go up to a 6, and sometimes I really need the larger placer, I am making myself still stay in practice with the larger placers. So I'm just cleaning this one out really quick. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just going to pop this in there, and that fits snugly enough. I don't need to add any washi tape to make it fit even more snugly. Okay, so I'm going to use this in my multi-placer. This is Enablers Outpost. Check out these melons. I think it's watermelon scented. Chit, which is the Romanian word for putty. And I don't think I've used this scent yet, actually. So I'll use this in the multi-placer. It smells like cucumber melon is what it smells like. No, or more just pure watermelon. I don't know. And then this actually, it doesn't have a label on it, but it's from the Creativity Squirrel. And it's a wax that they sent along with a kit that they sent over for me to unbox and share with you guys. I shared that unboxing late last week. And I wanted to try out the wax, because they sell this wax separately in their shop as well. So sorry I didn't do that in frame for you guys, but I just stabbed it and then rocked back and forth. This might be the kind of putty that would do well in not warm weather, and it's July. So if this is too soft, then that's completely on me. You'll find that sometimes with different waxes and putties that sometimes depending on your climate and the temperature, they'll work better or worse. So I do have some putties and waxes that I tend to be like, okay, these are ones that I prefer to use in the winter versus ones I want to use in the summer. But we're going to give this one a try anyway. Let's load up my single blazer. The tray is from Unimade. It's one of these like magic color shift trays. And then this, I'm pretty sure is from Galloway's Gallery. Not 100% sure, but pretty sure. So let's see if scraping is the way to go. Kind of. That's interesting. It's like it looks like kind of a beeswax in there, but when we scrape it, it's kind of white. So let's see if I kind of flatten it off a little bit. Let's give that a try. It doesn't smell like, I don't think it smells like anything. It's unscented. Okay, new things, love it. So anyway, hi, how are you doing today? I hope that your week is off to a wonderful start. I have already started in on this section, obviously. So we'll see how far we get. We might finish it and open up the next section here, but you know what, with this really confetti heavy kit like this, it can be a little hard to tell how far we're gonna get. I was gonna try to move this so it's out of the way of glare. There you go. Let me grab a color. We'll be off to the races. I have to credit Diamond Art Studio UK, by the way. They sent out an email a week or two ago saying that it had come to their attention that this particular color, that there was a mistake with how it was, I think, distributed or something, and they hadn't actually given enough. And so they express shipped replacements to everyone. I was very lucky. It actually came on the day that I ran out. I ran out at the top of this column. So I definitely needed the replacements, and I'm glad that they were on it and they were proactive about getting those sent out. But it's good to be back to this kit, actually. I finished up my second summer with the Masters project last night, and that was a kit called the artwork is called The Dance Class. It's by the artist Degas, and I had gotten it from Michaels. It's the Make Market brand. I'd gotten it last summer, but they carry the same artwork in the Make Market brand this summer, but it looks like it's just slightly different. But I paid $14.99 US last summer before the coupon I'm sure I used. So I think I probably paid about $10 for that kit. And you know what? I'm not mad at how it turned out. Do you want a quick peek, by the way? I have it here. I don't have the original artwork to do a side-by-side with you on, but I happen to have it here, and I'll kind of, let's zoom you out a little bit. So that's not very far out, but you can still see. So it's 40 by 50 centimeters. It's not huge, but it didn't turn out half bad. I have to be honest with you guys. For what amounted to a $10 kit of an old Masters artwork that's been cropped and brightened from the original. So there will be a review on that at some point. Don't worry, that's not going to be your only look at it, I promise. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with how that turned out. And it's nice to have another finish under my belt. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. So I finished that last night. Had some color blocking, some confetti. I've mentioned a couple of times, so I apologize. I often do repeat myself. I have actual, at this point, documented issues with my memory sometimes, and so you will hear some of me repeat things, some of the same stories and comments and stuff like that. I don't do it to be obnoxious, I swear. Do you hear my cat chirping in the background? He does that when he wants attention. He's so cute. So I'm pretty confident that the Make Market parent brand is Diamond Dots, especially after kind of taking a closer look at the kit with some fellow diamond painters who are, you know, relatively savvy, have worked on a variety of companies and stuff like that, have worked on Diamond Dots kits, and they were kind of like, oh yeah, this absolutely looks like it's just a Diamond Dots kit without the Diamond Dots branding. So I'll kind of deep dive on that a little bit more when I do a review. I'm still debating what that review is going to look like. I'm debating if I want my last weekly video of Summer with the Masters to just kind of be like a double post review of the kits I've completed, which there are just 2, and I'm planning on pulling out a 3rd Summer with the Masters project to work on through the end of July, because we're still pretty early in the month. But it's like I could do a kind of a double post review for my week 7 content, which is this Saturday or Sunday. But so I don't know if I want to do that or not, or if I want to do something else for that. That's why you haven't seen reviews on my Summer with the Masters finishes yet, is because I'm just very indecisive and I'm a procrastinator. It's a dangerous combination. Very dangerous combination. So, but it was good to finish up that kit and then come back to this one. I kind of said, okay, once I hit the halfway point on Outside the Sweet Shop, I'm going to hop back over to my second Summer with the Masters project. Let's finish that, get that one done, and then I'll come back to this one and keep on plugging away. So I am cautiously optimistic that the second half is going to go, of this kit, is going to go a little bit faster than the first. I know I have some color blocking coming up over that direction, and so hopefully I can just zip right through some of those areas. We shall see, but I'm enjoying working on it, so I'm okay with not rushing it. But I gotta tell you, my overall pace of crafting and whatnot has been a lot slower the past month in particular, and it's really easy for that to sort of snowball and turn into me losing even more momentum than I otherwise would have. So I'm trying not to get like discouraged or, take that as an easy way to blow off like, oh, I just won't diamond paint tonight, I'll do other things, because it's taking me forever to finish projects anyway. I got a little bit in my head, and I know this is silly, but I did get a little bit in my head about the month of June. I just had 2 finishes, and I thought, only 2? When's the last time I only had 2 finishes in a month? Which, it's not a commentary whatsoever on what your pace of diamond painting is. It's purely just what mine tends to be. But I've had just a lot of these really confetti heavy, larger square drill kits on the roster, and so those they just take longer. And I'm not terribly confident that July is going to be that much different. So I just need to be okay with it. Just relax, enjoy the craft. I'm enjoying seeing this come together, and I started to tell you a little bit about what the shop has said about this particular kit. They posted on Saturday, actually shortly after I'd put up my 50% progress update video. They put up a post asking for people's opinions on offering pre-orders on a very, very select few kits, particularly the ones like this one, which they've struggled to anticipate how high the demand is. And they said that generally they don't like doing it pre-order, their shop pre-order style, because they don't like taking people's money when there's not actually a product in hand to ship out immediately. But they just were wanting to gauge, that drill is holy. Not today. Okay. They just wanted to use that to gauge interest and see, so that they could hopefully reduce wait times for people overall and leave fewer people feeling disappointed as well. And the overall response was people were very interested in pre-orders. So they decided to open up, well, they have not done it yet. I believe they're doing it this Thursday as part of their sort of regular drop time. I'm going to point you guys to their Facebook page for the most accurate and up-to-date information, because it could change. It could totally change. But at least as of the time of me filming this, I believe they're planning to open up for pre-orders on this kit and a couple other Max Color kits by this artist that have also been extremely popular on Thursday. So I don't know the details of how they're planning to have that work. their Facebook page is just where I'm going to point you, because I don't want to give you guys inaccurate information. But I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed working on this kit, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't kind of taking a look at some of the other Helcorio kits that have a lot of colors that they're going to be restocking. They're so intriguing and fun to work on, and they're fun to share with you guys. Like, I create content for the most part because I love engaging with you guys and hearing what you think, and showing things that you'd find to be helpful, that help you decide, like, okay, is this someplace I want to spend my money, and get a sense for, okay, what does the shop have to offer? Is it the thing that I would enjoy working on, and have the features that I look for if I'm going to go spend my money? And I love how excited you guys get about these really high color count kits. I am so sorry for that noise, you guys. I'll explain in a bit, but anyway, so it's like, I want to get more because then I can share them with you guys and eventually work on more again. I say, as my cross stitch conversion project judges me from my desk across the room. I'm filming at my kitchen table. I do the grand majority of my diamond painting at my kitchen table, just on a flat surface. It's more space than like the little desk that I have, which I currently use mainly for sort of storing and having handy a lot of the accessories that I want to use day to day. Though I was talking with Adam, and we're kind of thinking that it would be nice if that could be a space where I could actually diamond paint in the evenings, because it puts me closer to where he works and puts me closer to the living room where sometimes he games, or we could watch like a show or a movie or something. And so I've been gradually working on trying to tidy up that desk area and figure out some ways I can shift things and make it a space where I can sit and work, at least on more reasonably sized projects. A project like this would be tricky because I have 3 Elizabeth Ward trays sitting out, just trying to make it as easy to access and work on a kit like this as possible. But anyway, just things I'm thinking of. But yeah, where was I going before that? I just kind of like rabbit trailed on like the work surface that I use and stuff. Oh, my cross-stitch conversion judging me because I was thinking of getting more max color kits and potentially working on them. I wouldn't necessarily work on another one of these super soon, because it takes up a lot of my crafting time and mental energy. But it'd be fun to have one, and kind of like every few months pull out one of these big fun challenging kits. So we shall see. But yeah, so feel free to go and watch the progress update video that I posted. I went ahead and included some overall tips and tricks for working on a kit like this in that video. I debated doing a separate video dedicated to that topic, because I've kind of touched on that topic before. Back when I worked on Magical Merry-Go-Round from Diamond Painting Deutschland, I made a video that was how to work on a very large diamond painting kit. And I mean, that video is at least a couple years old at this point. So I've kicked around, like, do I want to kind of do a refresh on any of the videos that I've done in the past? I'm coming up on, is it in September? I think it's September, August or September. I'll have been on YouTube for 3 years, which is really fun and a little bit nutty to think that it's been that long. And I did a lot of how-to videos very early on, and they still get watched. I think there's still good info in them, but there is part of me that's like, I wonder if I should do a refresh on some of those topics, just with, you know, maybe I'd have some new insight or things to add, just with having had a little bit more experience, you know, a couple more years worth of experience, maybe things I've picked up along the way. And I don't necessarily expect that most people, just sort of regular viewers and subscribers like you guys are, I don't expect that you're going back and digging way back all the way to my earliest videos. Though every once in a while, I do get a comment on, you know, like the very first video that I had put up, and That's always a little bit fun. I always cringe a little bit because to me, I just felt very, like I listened back to it and I think I sound very awkward or stilted, and I don't I just don't love that very first video that I did. But at the same time, it's like, well, that's, it's a good reminder to just be like, okay, this is fun to see how, I feel like I've gotten a bit more confident and comfortable, and it is good to go back and watch that every once in a while, just as a little reminder to be like, okay, this is on days when I feel like, oh man, am I really like putting stuff out there that is helpful? Like, why? I don't know. Whenever I start to question myself, self-doubt, sometimes I just go, okay, look, I have changed, I have learned, I have discovered some new things and tried new things and stuff. So, but yeah, all that to say, I'm just kind of mulling over. Do I want to do a refresh on any of those older videos? Excuse me. It's hard to believe, speaking of time passing, it's hard to believe that we're already coming up on the end of summer with the masters. And I know it's still, early July, but it's flying. The summer's completely flying by. And I feel like this usually happens, especially with 2-month events, is that especially the second month, it just feels like the overall pace slows down a little bit. And especially in the summer, people are busy, and we've been doing weekly videos for a while, and so I don't know if people start to get a little burnt out on the topics and stuff. But it's really fun because people are starting to finish projects and share their finished projects, and others are like, oh, I got my kid in, I can still jump in. And it's like, yeah, you totally can. There's no new start or finished required. Just join in whenever you want. But yeah, it's always a little bittersweet when it's like, oh, the end of the event is in sight. I'm really jumping the gun here though, because literally it's July 9th. There's still like 3 weeks left. I need to slow my roll. I think, the reason that I have that in my brain is more so because my last week of weekly content, like the regular videos, like my week 7 video is going up this weekend. And so it's like, once that's done, then we'll do some kind of wrap up fun, but that'll be different than like, okay, we get to do some giveaways, we get to find something fun to talk about, that sort of thing. And then before you know it, it's going to be time for drills and chills. I was actually looking back to see, when did I put out drills and chills announcements in past years? And it was in mid-July, so I'm thinking, oh, I need to get that announcement out soon. So I just want to grab like a snapshot of like, okay, what are the key points I want to make sure I communicate with that announcement, and get that out there. It's going to look very, very, very similar to last year, if you're curious. But yeah, 5th year. Year 5 drills and chills is happening. So I'm excited for that. It's fun. It's fun to get to do these events, and I am glad that I have the whole month of August off in between to just sort of wind down from one event and gear up for the other. I have a lot of respect for people that host events, nearly every month and stuff like that, because it is quite a lot of work, but it's so fun and so rewarding. But at this, like, I need those breathers in between. And especially ones that tend to be a little bit more intense, like Summer with the Masters turned into a much bigger event this year than we've had in past years, which has been wonderful. And Drills and Chills is usually a pretty large scale event as well. So it just sort of proportionally goes up in terms of work and time and stuff. So I do want to plan ahead. Like I said earlier, I am a procrastinator and I'm indecisive, but I would like to do some intentional planning and map things out so that I feel less stressed. That's what I always tell myself. You will feel less stressed if you plan ahead. So that is on the brain. And maybe I'll try to get that announcement out this week. Start playing around with some graphics and see what kind of color scheme and theme I want to do this year. But yeah, so stay tuned for that if that's something you want to join in on. It'll be everything fall and Halloween themed is really what that event centers around. And that can include things that are like kind of spooky, but really it's like if the guideline I try to give people is to go, if you showed this kit to just a random person, Joe Smith on the street, would they look at this kit and go, oh yeah, I associate this with fall or Halloween? And if the answer is yes, you're good to go. If the answer is no, maybe look for another kit. So we'll see. So that's happening. What else was I going to say? I think it was that. So yeah, just lots of sort of planning and introspection and stuff like that. Because like I said, my 3-year anniversary on YouTube is coming up in a little bit. And whenever I sort of have anniversaries and dates like that come up, it has me go, okay, let's reflect. Like I said, I'm highly introspective. And I go, okay, what did I love about this past year? What are some new goals or some new things that I might want to try, or things I might want to change going into the upcoming year? So I guess my brain is jumping way ahead on a lot of things because it's not just thinking about like, oh, it's the end of Summer with Masters. Oh, my anniversary's coming up. Literally, it's still the early July. So, but I do have some ideas for new videos I might want to try to do, and maybe refreshing some older videos too. I know I've teased some other videos, like doing a washi haul, or not a washi haul, a washi stash video, or a wax and putty stash video, and that sort of thing. I haven't forgotten that. It's hard for me sometimes to get some of those other videos off the ground when I've got events going. It's like those take up all the space in my brain and there's nothing left. But yeah, I mentioned earlier that my overall pace has been slower, and I'm kind of feeling like this summer is getting away from me because I've basically been sick all summer. So you probably maybe can hear in my voice that I'm a bit hoarse. I was on the fence about even filming a WIP and Chat tonight, and I thought, I'm just going to pop in a cough drop, have my water sitting handy. I'm going to give it a try. So I woke up this morning still not any better, and thought, okay, I'm going to urgent care. Like, I've just been putting this off because I just kept thinking I'm just being a wimp, or I'm just being dramatic, or like, I just had strep. Surely I can't have something else. So yeah, in June I had strep. And as I was finishing my antibiotics, my 10-day course of antibiotics for strep, I started getting some congestion, and my throat started to bother me a little bit again, but in a different way. At first I panicked, thinking like, oh no, did like the antibiotics not actually take care of the strep? But it felt different. And then I thought, no, it's just a bug. And then my oldest had an upper respiratory bug that I had taken him in for. And they said, no, it's just a virus. You just got to ride it out. So I thought, okay, well, I just have whatever Connor has. I'm just gonna ride it out. And I was kind of a few days behind him in terms of symptoms and stuff. But where he mostly got better, more on that in a minute, where he was getting better and his cough and everything were improving, mine was not. I was getting a little bit worse and staying worse. This whole past week, really, I've had a lot of difficulty sleeping in the evening, and just like feeling a lot of wheezing when I breathe. That's been getting gradually worse. And I was doing all the things, like I started a few nights ago sleeping with, it's not a humidifier, it's technically a vaporizer because it puts out hot steam as opposed to cool mist. So I was sleeping with that basically blowing on my face, and I had to make sure I wasn't like curled up too much, because that put too much pressure, made me feel like I couldn't breathe. I did a telehealth visit with a doctor. It wasn't my doctor, she wasn't available, it ended up being someone else in the practice on Monday, and I felt kind of blown off in that visit, because she was basically like, oh, it's just something viral, like it might be turning into bronchitis, but you just kind of got to ride it out, treat the symptoms. So maybe that's the main reason that I kept putting off going to urgent care, is because I was like, well, she just told me that I had to ride it out. But it wasn't getting better. And so when I woke up this morning, it was another really rough night of sleep, and I was still just coughing and coughing. And it was like when I tried to sleep last night, it didn't even feel like I really slept deeply, because every breath that I take when I'm laying down, I was feeling the wheeze. And I was like, I have to go to urgent care. Like, this is why I should have gone days ago. And so I went in, and I kind of read out the whole laundry list of, okay, I had strep, and then it turned into this, and then I saw telehealth this doctor this time, and I've been treating it with like some over-the-counter stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I've gone through like a bag of cough drops, I'm using the vapors, like nothing is helping. And the doctor listens to my chest and listens to me breathe. As he's listening, he's like, are you a smoker? I was like, no. All kinds of smoke, cigarette and otherwise, are like instant migraine triggers for me. No. And he's like, do you have asthma? Do you have a history of asthma? I was like, no. 0. He's like, okay, because that's what your lungs sound like, is that either you're a smoker or you have asthma. And I was like, no to both. And so he's like, yeah, no, you have acute bronchitis. And he said something else. I don't remember what it was. Bronchospasm, I don't know, whatever. So he's like, so here's what we're going to do. He's like, I'm calling in an antibiotic and a steroid, because we've got to get that inflammation down. He's like, I don't hear any pneumonia, which I was relieved to hear. That was kind of my fear, honestly, is I thought, what if I keep putting off going to see a doctor, this could turn into pneumonia, and then I have a huge problem. By the way, I was also regularly testing for what, because I was like, is this that virus? And nope. It was bronchitis. And then he's also like, I'm going to prescribe an inhaler. He's like, have you ever used an inhaler? I was like, nope. And he said, this will give you some temporary relief until the steroids kick in. So off I trot to the pharmacy to pick up everything, my whole like bag of stuff. And I'm telling the pharmacist, like, so I don't know how to use an inhaler. So she describes it to me. I still watched a YouTube video when I got home, because I was like, I just want to, I don't know, like whatever I'm inhaling, I want to make sure I'm doing it right. It was just albuterol, which is I think what's typically in an inhaler. But so yeah, now I'm on antibiotics. I'm on steroids, which are making me sweat profusely. It's really, really incredibly attractive. And I did joke with that. I was like, I'm gonna Hulk out. You better watch out. It's just an oral steroid thing. And I think maybe it's starting to help a little bit. I am coughing less. I'm still feeling a little bit short of breath. I mean, when I describe the symptoms, as I was telling the doctor what was going on, I'm just like mentally kicking myself like, Katie, you should have been here days ago. Like, what were you thinking? It is what it is. I guess I was trying to tough it out, and I was convinced. I was like, no, I don't want to be that person that's always like, yeah, I'm sick. So hopefully I see some improvement soon. And hopefully I'll be able to actually sleep this evening, and hopefully this prevents this from turning into pneumonia. So yeah, that's kind of that update. I was thinking though, because I mentioned, I think in last week's WIP and Chat, I always feel like of two minds about mentioning when I'm sick or something like that, because I just wonder sometimes, like, what's the difference between being just sort of really honest and like open and authentic about what's going on in my life, or things that I'm struggling with in general. This applies not just to like, oh, I'm physically ill, but also even to an extent mental health struggles or other things that are going on. I sometimes wonder, where's the line between, okay, yes, I'm sharing, and that's kind of the mentality, the vibe that I've cultivated in this space. What's the line between that and oversharing? Whether this is just not something that people really care about hearing about. It's it brings down their mood or something like that. Or in some cases, I think about this with my kids, especially as they're getting older. When is it I'm oversharing and I'm not respecting their privacy. And I've talked about that before, where that's something that's been on my mind more often lately, especially, I think, just particularly with my oldest, I think, because he just is old enough. He was asking me the other day about how I make YouTube videos and stuff. And he was like, I want to make YouTube videos. I want to be like so-and-so, you know, a Roblox YouTube channel that he follows. I thought, oh, wow, this starts early. So it's like he's old enough to know. I'm going to cough, hold on. Excuse me. And I don't want to put stuff out there that is, you know, an invasion of his privacy. So I'm regularly thinking of that. And also just thinking for myself, like, what do people actually want to hear about? So anyway, that's why I was like, do I really want to talk about how I'm not feeling well? I feel like you guys are probably so tired of hearing about it. But that's just been the forefront of what my experience has been this past week. And it's been discouraging to feel like I am losing a lot of the summer. I feel like I had a lot of ideas and sort of hopes for what this summer might look like with us and the kids. Might have to go grab that inhaler. We'll see. Let me try water. So I'm trying not to get in that headspace of like, oh, I'm feeling down, because I feel like it's already the second week of July. Where is the summer going? And I'm trying to just focus on like, let's get healthy, and there's still plenty of summer left to take advantage of. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna try the inhaler. I'll be back. All right, you guys. Sorry about that. I was like, if the inhaler doesn't work, I'm just gonna call it. But I took 2 sprays, which you're allowed to do. I've read the instructions. I did all the things because I'm that extra. But the second spray is what did it. I was asking Anna, I was like, am I doing this right? Like, it's like you breathe in and you hold it, right? It's like, yeah, but I feel like I'm messing something up. But anyway, no, it's good. That helped. Sorry. I'm a hot mess. Okay, so I was talking about how I'm trying not to get in my head about like, we're wasting summer, and just go, you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. If you're sick, you can't help being sick. Yes, I'm trying to take the vitamins and do the things and be more consistent about taking my vitamins, because I'm not always super consistent about that, but sometimes this stuff just happens. So, is what it is. Connor, unfortunately, he started complaining about his ears hurting a few days ago, and so I ended up taking him into the pediatrician, and they weren't able to see really well because there's a lot of wax buildup. They suspect he has an ear infection. He like couldn't hear out of one of his ears almost. We were having to like repeat ourselves a lot, and then he started complaining about them hurting. So I thought, okay, we're going in. I also suspect, so we had gone swimming a few days prior, or maybe, less than a week prior. And if he inherited like Adam's ears, like whenever Adam goes underwater, it's something, I don't know, it's like a physiology thing. Water gets trapped in there and ear infection and earwax buildup and stuff. So that could be what also may have happened with Connor. It may not have been related to his upper respiratory bug that he shared with me. It's just whatever this was apparently was nasty, but I did pick up some of those. They have like swimmer's ear drops that you can put in after swimming, and I'm also looking into like maybe doing earplugs or something. I'll look into like what are ways that we can protect his ears while he's swimming, because we still really want to do swim lessons this summer too. And I haven't even bothered to like schedule those, put those on the calendar, because Connor's been sick. Like he's not gonna be doing swim lessons while he's sick. So I'm just kind of looking ahead. I'm like, okay, no, we still have over a month and a half of summer. There's still plenty of time to do fun things. My family's coming into town at the end of the month. And I've missed out. This is one of the things I'm really sad about, is I have had to miss out on a lot of plans and stuff that we've made with Adam's family, who do live more local to us. And if I have to miss, that usually means that we have Micah miss too, because if it's an outing, if it's going somewhere, Micah he really needs at least one dedicated adult to him. And it just is tricky. So it's kind of like, well, if I can't go, then Micah stays home too. So we missed out on some stuff, and it's been a bummer, and I'm hoping that I'll be on the upswing after this. So that's that update. Micah is thankfully staying healthy, and he's really thoroughly enjoying school. They had a water day on Friday. They had sent home a list of like, okay, send your student with like X, Y, and Z. Make sure you put on sunblock before they come to school because they'll be outside a lot that day. And I just knew that Micah was going to be living his best life because that kid is a water baby. He loves the water. Having his, like being splashed. He doesn't necessarily love being like in a pool, but he loves splashing and like doing all those things. It's really sweet, really cute. So I knew that he was just going to have the best day, and his teachers did send some fantastic pictures of him loving water day on Friday. So that was fun. And we really are noticing that speech therapy is making quite a difference for him. And it's actually been gradual to the point that I've had to stop and go, wait a second. No. Like he's doing these things that are leaps and bounds ahead of what he was doing before, like spontaneous sentences and things that are like grammatically correct and stuff like that. And this is the kiddo who had very little expressive language less than a year ago. And so it's been a real treat to get to see him just really discovering how to communicate in a way that's less frustrating for him. And he has also just been in rare form as far as being very silly, very mischievous, and just being kind of a stinker too. But he's just the sweetest too. He's very sweet and cuddly, and I was telling a friend earlier that I feel like my kids are at a really fun age. My youngest is 5, my oldest is 8, and I just thought this feels like magic. It's let me be clear because I don't want to misrepresent what's going on. Cough drop. We're just gonna tag team it. Inhaler and cough drop. It is not easy. It's not like every day is rainbows and unicorns, but there's a lot of fun in there. And so I'm soaking that up and feeling like, oh, these summers are really fun and really special. And yeah, so that's kind of the nostalgic, like sappy feeling that I'm in at the moment. And yeah, so things that are coming up. So let me see. I was going to go on a little tangent about things I'm listening to and reading and whatnot, because that seems to be something that I will update you guys on. And I have lots of fun when you guys come in and say, oh, I started, like a lot of you have come in and said, oh, I started reading A Court of Thorns and Roses because you started talking about it and I love it. And, oh, I watch Supernatural too or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll come in with my little update, what I'm watching, what I'm reading, what I'm listening to. So, Adam has had Star Trek on in the background a lot. He just restarted Deep Space Nine, which we had gotten to like, I think season 5 of before it left Netflix, and now it's on Paramount. Paramount Plus? Yeah. So he started from the beginning and is watching, and once he gets, I think, to about where we were, then we'll actually sit down and watch it together and actually watch the rest of the show. Yes, we are nerds, but he's had it on kind of in the background. He's been doing a lot of work in the evenings after the kids go to bed on his computer, and so I'll diamond paint, and sometimes he'll have the show on without headphones, and I'll get to listen, and I'll be like, oh, I remember these episodes. And that was a good show, like for right from the start, so that's been fun. I have been continuing to watch some Supernatural, as always. In the background, I made it through season 7, and I'm partway through season 8 now. And I've made a little bit of progress on the audiobook I've been reading, which is the second Throne of Glass book. I keep forgetting what it's called. I can't with these high fantasy titles. They all sound the same to me. It's not Queen of Shadows yet. Heir of Midnight? Something? Crown of Midnight? I don't know. Crown of Midnight? That sounds right. If Jacqueline's listening, she's going to be like, Katie! Because we're kind of like reading it together. Well, sort of. Yeah, anyway. So I did make some progress on that one. I think I'm coming up on the halfway point of that book. And another one of the gals that is reading with us had commented that once she realized, she went and looked and realized that it's actually classified, like the series is classified as YA. That like helped both of us sort of reset our brains and expectations. And I'm pretty sure Jacqueline had told me that before, but yeah, no, it just has a different vibe than A Court of Thorns and Roses or Crescent City did. So anyway, been making progress on that. I've been spending a lot of time in lives lately, and that's like YouTube lives from fellow creators, and that's just a space I really enjoy being in because I feel like I can have some company while I'm working, and I can hop in and interact in the chat when I want to and stuff like that. So I have been trying to catch lives when the timing works out, when my kids allow. I'll just pop in an earbud and listen a little bit and diamond paint here and there. So I've been trying to do some of that as well. And then I've been getting the itch for some reason to rewatch the show The Sandman, because we only watched it through one time. And I don't know, I came across like a meme or something that put it back on my brain. I'm like, I kind of want to rewatch that show. So that might make it back into the rotation. Season 2 of Good Omens comes out later this month, and I am so stoked for that. I loved season 1 of Good Omens. Adam wasn't as excited about that one, but I was into it, and I'm excited for season 2. I've been like watching the trailers and the other teasers they've been putting out and stuff, and I'm here for it. So that's kind of the shows and stuff that have been on my radar. Haven't really been doing podcasts this week, and trying to catch up on some YouTube videos, stuff like that. Especially I enjoy these listening to like WIP and Chat style videos and vlogs and whatnot. It's easy to put on and then just sort of diamond paint too. Oh, listening though, no podcasts, but Speak Now did release this past week. The Taylor's version of Speak Now came out, and Adam was so sweet. He knew, I was telling him, I was like kind of doing a little mini countdown. I was like, it's going to come out at like 9 p.m. Pacific time because it's releasing midnight on, in the Midwest or on the East Coast. And so I was like, I'm excited to do like a listen through. That's one of my favorite albums of hers. And I mean, if you're curious about why is she re-recording her old albums, you can, just Google it. It has to do with like getting back her old masters and like the masters of her work and some of the shadiness that happened there. It's kind of fascinating when you go into like why she was allowed to do it from a copyright and legal standpoint, because she wrote all of her own stuff. But yeah, so anyway, I was excited to do a listen through of it. And so after our kids went to bed, I put it on, and Adam was even listening in the background. And that was fun. Like I said, it was one of my favorite albums, and I just am in a Taylor Swift mood because I'm thinking ahead to the concert, which is now officially less than a month away, the one that I have tickets to. Still cannot believe that I lucked out with them adding a show in LA, and me getting like that text from Ticketmaster from when I had joined the verified fan like pre-sale list way back, and I never got a text then because so many people signed up. They basically did it like lottery style, I think, and a whole heck of a lot of people didn't get them. And what they're selling for third party is just crazy, and there's tons of people that are putting out like fake tickets and stuff, so I'm just so glad I don't have to mess with that. So yeah, that's kind of what I've had going, things I'm listening to, reading and whatnot, watching. As far as what's coming up this week, I'm telling you what, you guys, the mail has not been very friendly to me, and to a lot of people in particular, but I should have a sneak peek. I have one in hand for a special release this week, and we'll see what else the mail does, because the one that I was supposed to have last week that supposedly had shipped on Tuesday or Wednesday is still sitting at label created, and I know that's the case for the other creators as well. So I just am like, you know what? Eventually that's going to show up. I was really excited to get to share that one ahead of the release with you guys. It was the love potion one with the corgi and the witch. But when it comes in, I'll still share it. It's so stinking cute. And then I feel like I'm overdue to do a small shop haul. And I'll have a Summer with the Masters Week 7 video this weekend. And then once I decide how I want to handle the reviews of my finished Old Masters kits, if I decide to do individual post reviews outside of Summer with the Masters weekly videos, then I'll work on getting those up to you guys, because I'm excited to share reviews of both of those, because one is a custom from Jaded Gem Shop, my first custom I've ordered from them, my first Old Masters kit I've done from them. And then one is a Make Market kit, which I know a lot of you have expressed interest in getting to sort of see what a finished Make Market kit looks like and what the quality and rendering and everything is like. So I am eager to get those up for you guys. And I have a few kits that I've ordered that I ordered from the new Craftably releases. There was a kit that caught my eye that I'll share that unboxing when it comes in, depending on, I don't know if that'll come in this week or not, but yeah, lots of small shops and big shops doing really cool things out there. And be sure you're kind of following along with different Facebook groups or social media to sort of stay up to date with what everyone's doing, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on. And just ignore the noise of any shenanigans that people are up to, because that's been messy, and I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. We're gonna move right on from that, even just mentioning it. But what else do I have this week? I think that's kind of it. I'm gonna follow kind of my health. I'm hoping that, like I said, that now that I'm on all the things, that things are really gonna turn around and I'm gonna be feeling better really soon. Fingers crossed. But, you know, depending on how I'm feeling, I may take, you know, like I kind of did last week, there just were some days where I couldn't film, I couldn't put up a video, and some days where I did feel up to it. So thanks for being so flexible and coming along for the ride with me. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I had to stop this clip a couple of times. I actually am not entirely sure. I think I'm a bit short of an hour, but my voice is telling me to be done, and my lungs are telling me to be done, so I'm going to be done. So let's see, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, what should we do? How about some kind of fruit emoji in honor of this watermelon scented Annular's Outpost chit, which, by the way, even though it was a little bit soft going in as I was loading it, it's given me no trouble at all as I've been using it here. So, you know, sometimes even if it looks like it's going to be something that won't work with you, like climate-wise or something, maybe it's worth trying anyway. I've heard of also, you know, popping putty or wax in the freezer to sort of help it reset itself in warm weather. So different things you can try if, you know, you have a favorite wax or putty and you're like, but it's not working well for me in the summer or in the winter. I don't know what you could do in the winter. I'm not going to recommend like microwaving your products, but I don't know. Maybe there's ways you can make it work. You know what you can do? You know what you can do is, I remember this thing from, wow, I think it's been years since I remember hearing someone share about this, and I don't remember who it was, or obviously I'd credit them, but they put their, like, it was a brick of patty wax, and if it was in the winter and it was too hard to scrape, they would put it like under their leg for a couple of minutes and get it warm enough that it was easier to load up their pen. So I don't know, you can get creative with ways that you can tackle issues like that. But we didn't quite complete this section. We got really close though. We're kind of coming in on the lighter colors here. It's coming together. So I'll probably finish this up here, and then I might call it a night and try to get some sleep if the steroids, it's prednisone, it doesn't keep me up all night, because side effects on steroids are really weird. But thank you guys, excuse me, for hanging out with me, sticking with me through the craziness of being sick and kind of all that. I appreciate that you came in and spent some time with me today. Like I said, if you made it to the end, feel free to leave a fruit emoji. Let me know how you're doing, what you were working on, and what you got coming up this week. And if you're not already subscribed, you made it all the way here, you'll probably like it here. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you here. And yeah, that's it. You guys have a wonderful week. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.